Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with me, your host, Tone Vays. Jimmy and I take a break from the morning news brief on Sundays, and it's a good day for me to continue doing daily videos. And as much as I keep trying to bring you traditional markets, just been like so incredibly busy, mostly booking travel and organizing, and trying to reply to so many people on Twitter, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But doing my best to continue to bring you videos. This is going to be one of the longer videos where I get to dive deep into the price of Bitcoin and try to educate people when it comes to trading versus just holding or investing. And as usual, I sent out a couple of tweets that are very, very controversial, and I'll talk about those. But every tweet I send these days is controversial. I'm still not used to the fact that a year ago today, I had maybe 1,000 or 2,000 Twitter followers. And today I have over 70,000 Twitter followers. So anytime I say anything, it's just like a barrage of text. And I really understand now why people with like a lot of followers don't really reply to people, because you just can't. There's just one of me and 70,000 of you that are looking at that tweet. So it's impossible to reply to everyone. All right, let's just jump right into screen share. Let me see. I'm going to go with application. I'm getting better at not doxing myself. All right, here we go. As usual, on my website, I mean, I haven't really been updating. I haven't been writing any articles, but please check out the Learn Trading section. The colors on my website always like get messed up. I like my website, though. I like the 1994 look of my website. That was totally on purpose and for functional reasons. But anyway, so please check out the Learn Trading section. If anyone is asking me about the indicators or anything else, and you haven't yet read the Learn Trading section, then I'm not going to help you at all, especially section 6, and especially this article right here, probably the most important one you can read. It also allows you to download the book, enjoy it while it lasts, because that's probably a glitch. This book should cost money, but you can get it for free by clicking on this link, okay? So enjoy that while it lasts. I'll talk about my Twitter after. Just a quick update on, I mean, if you are interested in consulting, then click the consulting button. A quick update on the trading seminars. Oh yeah, I hope my connection is good. My current speed, why is this such a big font? Jesus. Yeah, there's something went wrong with like my website updated, and that I need to change this. So what was I going to say? Okay, so the Singapore seminar is 100% going to happen. It's going to be on January 14th. I haven't yet booked my flight to Singapore, but I will. And I haven't yet looked for a venue on January 14th, but I will. So that's on my to-do list over the next week to finalize that. It will be a 10 a.m. start on January 14th, and it will run, most of the day. So please reach out to me. There's details at the bottom on how to find me. And so please come out. The price remains 0.1 Bitcoin to attend for the seminar. The Mexico one may not happen. I'm going to know this week. I may not. I've been traveling too much. I've been doing too much. I may head back to New York. And if I'm in New York, there will be a New York one instead. So there will be a seminar in February. I just don't know if it's going to be Mexico or New York. And then I'm still planning on going to South Africa in early March. And I will, I'm not even close to even thinking about that one. All right. Oh, forgot. Yeah, you know what? No, I'll do that part later. All right, let's just get right into the Bitcoin. Well, let's talk about the price of Bitcoin, and then we'll talk about, the ecosystem in general. I want to try and do a bunch of your Q&A. I haven't been doing a lot of Q&A. I don't think I have anyone helping me do the Q&A, but anyway, I'll try to get to your questions. So don't ask your questions yet, but I'll get to those. All right, here is the weekly chart of Bitcoin. And I'm using Bitstamp. I do use like random exchanges, mostly for history. I have all of this stuff written down. If I switch exchanges, then all the history goes away. All these lines go away, right? I've been doing Bitcoin price analysis since early 2014, guys. It's all public. I've never deleted a single one. Thank you for your donation, Tor. I am looking at the live chat a little bit. So when someone sends a donation, it does catch my eye. Okay, so the long-term view of Bitcoin, I mean, we're going up, right? We're starting to go exponential a little bit. Some call it parabolic. I like to call it exponential. Parabolic doesn't really make sense, but I like to call it an exponential rise. And I mean, we're overextended. We hit the trend line. I didn't think that was possible, but we hit it. Shout out to Anders from LA, who called the fact that we were going to hit my trend line this year, and he called it back in like August. So somewhere down here, back when the price was like 2,000 or 3,000, he said, "Hey, we're going to hit Tone's trend line probably this year," and we did. So what can happen? Can we go? Oh man, I mean, right here the price of Bitcoin is $50. Over here the price of Bitcoin is $1,000, right? So $50 to $1,000, that's 20x. We went 20x above the trend line. Probably went 20x above the trend line here as well. No, here we went 10x above the trend line. Here we went 20x above the trend line. If we go 20x above the trend line again, that's just going to be sick. That's $400,000 per Bitcoin. All right, I don't see it, but hey, I could be wrong there. I'm happy to be wrong, in fact. So long-term view, I mean, people are also asking me, how come I don't really use the MACD and the RSI anymore? Well, they're useless. They're useless when it comes to exponential rises and all-time highs. I mean, just pull up the chart of Amazon stock over a 10-year time period, and you'll see how useless RSI and MACD are. They're good in trending markets. They're good. They're probably good with things trading, with cryptos trading against Bitcoin, but they're not going to be all that good for Bitcoin itself, especially not at all-time highs. So let's talk about, trading versus holding. All right, so a couple of concepts I need to explain to people. My recommendation is you buy Bitcoin and you don't trade it. I buy Bitcoin and I don't trade it. I actually don't have time to trade. Between all my travel, doing all of these videos and replying to people, I just can't focus. I can't focus on Bitcoin trading. I still am capable of focusing on traditional trading because my traditional trading is so niche and so thoroughly tested, and my strategies are so specific that I will be making at least one trade this upcoming earnings season in January. I will make between 15 and 40% on that trade, and that trade will probably be the majority of my retirement account. So, but that's because I've been an options trader for 15 years, okay? And I know what I'm doing. That's why I'm able to do that. When it comes to directional trading, it takes time. You have to sit in front of the market, and I'm just not able to focus on that at the moment. I can go back to trading directionally if I wanted to, but then I'd have to stop doing all this content. And so far, as much as the trolls are getting in the way, I still like doing what I'm doing. So here's the weekly chart. So I'll go back. Let me turn on the back test so you can see the numbers. Let's go back to the previous 9, right? So what does a quick educational lesson for those that aren't familiar with the tone-based random number generator indicator? Here we go. On this 9, you're supposed to take your profit. And you're supposed to wait for a clean entry. By the way, going into the 9, the clean entry was right here. So your clean trading entry, like the least risky entry to go long Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin, was right here at about $1,230. You go up, 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 up. There was a situation here that I've talked about. Please go back to these videos. Oh, no, I haven't. I didn't start looking at this indicator till this 9 showed up. But I've talked about this to private clients, so they know what's going on. So when this 9 showed up on a weekly chart, this is the weekly time frame, it told you to take your profit from the trade that you should have entered at 1,230. You would take your profit at 3,000 for a very nice clean trade, and then you wait. Do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, boom, short. This is when this indicator on this time frame, which is the weekly time frame, told you to short Bitcoin. Right here at around, let me double click on this line here. $2,460. Shorted. How far did we fall? Fell to $1,800. It's a pretty good trade, pretty good short trade. And you're never supposed to short Bitcoin. And the expectation was for us to have 6 more weeks of downside, which didn't happen. Segwit got in, price went up. I can only, look, this indicator kind of tells you when to get in and when to take your profit. When shit reverses in the middle, the indicator doesn't help you, right? Like it didn't help you exit here on this time frame. It helped you exit, it helped you take your short profit on a daily time frame. I'm not going to get into it, but if you put this indicator on a daily time frame back here, it definitely helped you. But anyway, it reversed. Boom. See this green line right here? That's where the indicator told you to buy. 2,875. When did the indicator? Well, right here, when the color flipped. So when the color flipped, somewhere on this candle, now I understand that if you waited till here, your trade was barely profitable. But if you exited early, your trade was very profitable. Okay? So there's your trade. It never told you to go short. This right here, told you to go short. This never did, because you needed the price of this 2 to go below this 1. So on the bull side, it gave you another bullish entry right here on this line. Another clean, safe entry, $4,625. Boom, you're in. Long trade. You're going up, 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 up. A little scare here. The color never flipped. Never told you to go. Never told you to get out of the trade. You had a second entry here for other reasons, but this indicator, your buy point was that green line, and it told you to take your profit right here. Okay, off this arrow. Now there was no reversal candle here. There was no scare, unlike what we saw back here. This was more obvious. And those of you that did take your profit here, I clearly explained on this particular time frame, where am I wrong? Where are we, at which point are we going to continue to go higher? And that's right here, right? Once again, 16,675. And we have already hit, what was the high? Almost 20,000. So again, another good safe trade. But the point is making these safe trades, okay? Or you can just buy and hold. So that's the weekly time frame, and we're now bullish. The week's almost over. The week's going to end in about, I don't know, 5 hours, and it's going to close similarly to this. And I am looking for 7 more weeks of upside. So let's see what happens. Daily time frame. All right, I'm going to pull back a little bit on a daily time frame. Now, weekly time frame trumps daily time frame. Let's take a look at this last 9 right here. I pretty famously called a top at 7,500. It was actually an amazing call, contrary to the trolls. Go back and check it out. Go back and watch all of the videos leading up to this call. I called it right off of this doji, and we fell about 30%. I thought we were going to fall a little bit further. We didn't. But hey, it's still a good trade. There's your short entry based on a daily chart. Remember, the weekly chart never gave you a short entry, so you have to be careful. The daily chart did, and the daily chart flipped to a buy entry right here. Hopefully people were smart, took their short profit, saw an opportunity to go long on lower level time frames. I didn't, but other people with more time to keep watching the price probably did. Right here was your bullish entry. The price of this entry was $6,706. And where does the indicator tell you to take profit? Well, right there. Okay, there's your take profit. In case you're wondering, again, I don't have the backtest open, but I can open it. There'll be a 2 right here. There it is. And the 2 started trading above the 1, and boom, safe bullish trade. Then we come up to a 9, again, telling you to take your profit. You had a bad day. The 9, and I have this green arrow here because I was expecting a 1 to 4 day pullback, then maybe go a little bit higher. And here we go. Your next bullish entry, I don't have a line drawn. I can draw it. Green line right here. Your bullish entry is the moment this candle started trading above that candle. Boom, you're back in the bullish trade. Another buying opportunity. And you're in for the races, right? and you're going up, 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 boom, 913, bad sign. Make your profit. Make your profit. Did the syndicator ever tell you to go short? Well, the answer is no. You never saw a red color flip, and we took off on another bull run. So I had this yellow line drawn where I clearly said, well, you take your profit on this 913. The day was absolutely nuts. How do you know when it's time to get back into a safe bullish trade? Well, the moment you start trading above the high, and there's two entries here. I don't want to draw any more lines. I'm just going to clutter it. But there was two entries here, right? So one entry is the moment this candle with a 2 on it started trading above the candle with a 1 on it. There's your bullish entry. But a safer entry would be not only is the 2 trading above the 1, but you broke all-time highs, which is this yellow line. So your entry was somewhere between $11,600 and the high of this candle, which is $11,950, right? So the moment you go above 12K, it's a safe bullish trade. The moment you enter this trade, it's nothing but up. A little bit of struggle here, but we did reach a 9, which once again gave us a 1 to 4 candle pullback, 1 to 4 day pullback, and now we're going higher once again. I've talked about this on many videos. Because of this situation here, spent way too much high at the all-time high, so I knew we were going higher. The daily is still bullish, guys. We're on a 5 of 9, so I'm just going to copy this arrow, and I'm going to stick it right here. Still bullish, guys. Maybe I'll slide this one like that. Maybe not as steep, but still bullish. Getting to be too many arrows here, but I'm looking for that 9. I'm looking for a 9 daily, but if the 9 daily comes next week, the weekly is still going to be saying higher, right? Now it gets interesting. Now we're going to zoom in. By the way, I'm not looking at the live chat right now, so don't ask your questions yet. Here's the 4-hour chart. I must have drawn this this a few days ago, and I said this is a bit of a no trade zone for me. There was a sell on this 9. These lines are automatically generated, by the way, by the indicator. And this is a bit of a no trade zone. And once we bust out of the trade zone, we also happen to have a 9. So it would be a nice 1 to 4 candle pullback and then higher. These arrows were drawn in real time. You can see how pretty accurate they are, but the arrows themselves are just randomly drawn. OK, so here's the 4-hour chart. And by the way, those that have the private clients that have this indicator, I do have a bit of a chat group, and I'm just too busy to tweet stuff out as much as I used to in the past. But the moment I woke up this morning, I woke up like, yeah, this happened at 7 a.m. Eastern time. I'm in the Eastern time zone. I'm in Cali, Colombia, by the way, guys. The apartment is awesome. You'll see it behind me when I turn my camera on. And so when we hit this 9 this morning, I actually sent this link into one of my groups. I really should have sent it to both of my groups. Sorry, guys. Sorry, the Skype. Sorry, Skype group. I didn't post the link, but you guys should all know. You're all clients of mine. You all have this indicator. You shouldn't need me to post, hey, there is a 9 on a daily and what to do about it, right? Sorry, the 9 on a 4-hour. So this is a 9 on a 4-hour. So what does it mean? It means that even though the daily is on a 5, it was at the very top. The daily is on a 5. The 4-hour time frame is saying, hey, why don't you be careful? This 9 will probably be similar to this 9. You have a little bit of a pullback, maybe 1 to 4 day pullback, and then we're going to go higher. Again, most likely outcome. So I'm going to take an arrow. I'm going to draw it here. And then I'm going to take another arrow. Well, actually, well, let me delete that. I'm just going to take this arrow. I'm going to copy it. I'm literally copying and pasting everything, right? Like every time I get one of these 9s, there you go. 1 to 4 candle pullback and then higher. The reason it's a 1 to 4 candle pullback and then higher is because the daily time frame still has like 4 days to go. If the daily time frame was on a 9 right here, I would probably not be looking for a 1 to 4 candle pullback and then higher on the 4-hour. I would be looking for like a 9 candle pullback on the 4-hour and then reevaluate. So this was a great trade, a great short-term trade off of this 9. You take your profit somewhere on this candle. Hopefully you're taking profit at the top of the candle, which is $19,666 on Bitstamp. Okay, so adjust for your exchange accordingly. And 1 to 4 candle pullback, probably higher. So that's our 4-hour time frame. And this candle will probably finish before I finish this video, or around the time I finish this video. This candle will finish. Oh, and by the way, after my video, please go to the World Crypto Network and check out Vortex. Vortex's show will start at the top of the hour, just as I finish this video. All right, let's go to the 1-hour time frame. Here's the 1-hour time frame. Now, this was excellent, right? Like right here at exactly 8 a.m. Eastern time, you had a 9 on the 4-hour, on the 1-hour, right? So what happened the last time you had a 9? Well, you had let's turn on the back test here. All right, so see, this is where this is where the tone-based version of the indicator differs than the Wall Street version of the indicator, because the Wall Street version of the indicator would have gave you a 9 on the following candle, which would have been a much better sell signal. But those of you that are using my indicator got a heads up 1 candle early. And this is not a reversal candle, but the next candle is a shooting star. So this is why I like my version better. And in some cases, if this candle would have been a complete decimation of the price, my indicator warned you when the Wall Street indicator did absolutely nothing. This is why I like having a 1 right here instead of a no number candle. The big difference between the tone-based version and the official Wall Street version. I like my version better. I will stick to it. This once again proves that my version is superior. You got a heads up a little bit early. Nothing was stopping you from exiting the following hour. You have to watch these things, right? You should be keeping an eye on these 9s and then see what happens later. Here we go. We had a 1 to 4 candle pullback. So it didn't happen on this 9. Doesn't happen every time, but it sure happened on this one. So here we go. You had a 1 to 4 candle pullback. You know what? Let me not draw this arrow, because then next time I do this video, I'm gonna think that I actually called it in real time, which I obviously didn't. So 1 to 4 candle pullback and then higher, and then we go higher, and boom, we hit another 9. And this 9 happened the previous candle gave you the all-time high, and this candle, there's no blow off top here, so I don't think this is gonna be a high that's gonna stay for long. I think we're gonna break out of this high. And look, in about 3 hours, we're gonna have a red 9. And we're gonna hit a moving average. So that would be a perfect buying opportunity. For me anyway, probabilistically speaking. Okay, guys, so I treat you like adults. I'm not gonna give you this like spiel, like only trade money you're willing to lose and all this stuff, right? You're an adult. I know some of you are 13. I have proof that some of you are 13 in my chat groups, but that randomly show up. I try not to take on 13-year-old clients. I like staying out of prison, but I try to make sure my customers are of age and of high net worth. But you're adults. You're trading at your own risk, okay? Don't follow me. Learn how to trade. I have a whole website right here. Oh, not this one. That's my seminar. Oh, since I have way more people watching now, Singapore seminar is definitely on January 14th, 10 a.m. I don't know where yet. I don't have my flight yet. I don't have the venue bought yet. Mexico is 50-50, but there will be a seminar in February, either Mexico or New York. I'm now 50-50 if I'm going to go to Mexico. I've been traveling too much. Learn trading right here. We'll teach you how to trade. Learn how to trade. Don't follow my calls, okay? Learn how the syndicator works. Don't follow my calls. So right here you have a 9, and this 9 came on the same candle as the 4. Oh, sorry, this is the 4-hour 9. This 9 came at 8 a.m. This 9 came at 7 a.m., but this candle is 4 hours long. So you had a 9 on the 4-hour. You had a 9 on the 1 hour inside a 9 of the 4-hour. That is a very good sell signal. This is the situation where the 9 on the 1 hour is not a 1 to 4 candle pullback and higher. This is a situation where a 9 on the 1 hour is maybe a full-blown reversal to a red 9. And it would be awesome if this red 9 showed up right here. Oops, by the way. It would be awesome if this red 9 shows up right here, intersecting the 50-hour moving average at around 1900. Maybe just below. Let's give some people a scare, right? And then it would be in line with the 1 to 4 candle pullback on the 4-hour, taking us back to all-time highs. And now what I'm going to do is, maybe I drew this a little steep, maybe like that. Now I'm going to take this candle. I'm going to do copy. I'm going to do a paste. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to do that. Maybe there'll be another 9 there. We're going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to take this candle. Nope, not candle, but I'm going to paste it twice, actually. I'm going to take one. I'm going to go like this. Like that, into a new all-time high. I'm going to take this arrow. I'm going to go like that. OK? So what does that mean? So what I'm doing is, I'm also going to go here. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to make this yellow or orange. And I'm going to grab one of these lines. Like that. All right, so let's adjust. I'm just drawing random arrows, guys. But it's what I'm expecting. Something like this. OK? Pull into a 9, go back up. I mean, I don't know, sometimes Bitcoin moves faster than I expect, sometimes slower. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at, OK? According to this indicator, if you were to short off the 9, your stop loss is this blue line. OK? And at this point, you're lowering your stop loss. According to this indicator, where was your short entry trading hourly charts? Well, your short entry, I'm going to make it red, was right here. Again, this is an educational video. The moment a candle with a red 2 started trading below a red 1, you have a safe short play. The short play is now in the money. With a 4-hour chart, is there a short entry on a 4-hour chart? The answer is no. You don't have a red 2 yet. You need a red 2 trading below a red 1. Notice how it never happened here. Notice how you never really had a red 2 trading below a red 1. It came close. The low of this candle, you can see it in the upper left-hand corner. The low is 17,269 or 270 bucks. The low of this candle is 17,295. So you never had a red 2, OK, that traded below a red 1. Will you have it here in the next 4-hour candle? Maybe. But if you were trading the 1-hour charts, you're in a short trade. When does the short trade end? Either if it hits a red 9 in about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, or you get a price flip. A price flip is this. You have a red 5, and boom, green 1. Or you have, at this point, you should set a break-even stop loss, or you hit a stop loss, right? I mean, those are little trading details that you should be aware of as a trader. All right, so that's the daily chart. Sorry, that's the hourly chart. I'm pretty much done with Bitcoin, guys. Let me talk about Twitter for a minute. Let's talk about a couple of my tweets. My tweets are going to remain controversial, mostly because I just don't care. So let's see. Oh, check out CoinDaddy. Great work, man. Love it. OK, where am I going with this? So I sent 2 controversial tweets this morning. Let's start with the first one. So someone sent me a clip of Brian Kelly, talking about Bcash in a positive way on CNBC. Now, I probably should watch the whole clip, but the 18 seconds was enough for me, and I called him out. I mean, it's what I do, guys. It's what I do. I called him out, OK? Bcash is, a Chinese counterfeit Bitcoin. It's a fake Bitcoin. Now, you can make money on counterfeit items for a while, but it's not legit, okay? And it's going to go to zero because there's no development. Specifically, someone pointed me to the following. So go ahead and look at that. And it makes sense, right? I mean, is Bitcoin.com wallet, promoting malware? It's a legitimate question, right? Because your Bitcoin wallet is supposed to be able to generate public and private keys offline. It really does. It's supposed to be able to do that. But their wallet seems to need the internet in order to create you a public and private key. So there's only two conclusions here. One, the developers are incompetent, which is the more likely conclusion, or it's straight up malware, which is the least likely conclusion, but the incompetence of the developers of Bcash wouldn't put me anything past them that if there's malware in that wallet and they have no idea what's going on. So you can't be promoting straight up scams on national television, even if they go up in value, okay? Especially when people are telling you that they're scams, right? Like to me, profiting from Bcash is like profiting from Bernie Madoff's hedge funds after people provided you with evidence that it's a straight up Ponzi scheme and there are no actual positions in Bernie Madoff's funds. Yet you're still investing in the Ponzi and trying to get other people investing in the Ponzi, even though you know it's a Ponzi. This is my view of Bcash. Sure, it can go up in fiat value, but there's no development there. There's no innovation there. There's no competency there. And I wouldn't be surprised if people just get, if all their money gets lost, like in the Ethereum wallets or in the DAO situation, okay? And no, Litecoin has not outperformed Bitcoin the last 6 months. Here is the performance of Litecoin versus Bitcoin the last 6 months, and they're exactly the same. And we're cherry picking a date of a Litecoin pop like the last 4 days, right? So if you remove the last week, Bitcoin has crazily outperformed Litecoin over the last 6 months minus the previous week, right? So if we're going to cherry pick dates, let's cherry pick a date a week ago. And Bitcoin has completely outperformed it, okay? So speaking of Litecoin, people seem to have a huge problem with another one of my tweets. And here we go. So many new people are into like pump and dump Ponzi schemes and scams all throughout. I mean, we're not even talking about the obvious scams like, BitConnect and IOTA and what's another obvious, they're just straight up scam. NEM. I mean, that's just crazy. Ripple is just beyond stupid, but anyway, let's talk about this. So here is something that Luktash Jr. wrote. I wonder if I can zoom in on this. There we go. So Luktash Jr. called Litecoin a scam in 2013, okay? I personally don't think that Litecoin is a scam. I just think it's the best use case for Litecoin is that it's a test net for Bitcoin. That's the best case scenario, is that it's a test net. So if it's a test net, you can't put too much, confidence in that blockchain, because all of the developers for Litecoin are basically mostly taking the work innovation of Bitcoin. And that's what Luktash Jr. pointed out. He pointed out that Litecoin can't possibly do any innovation because all of the brain power is innovating for Bitcoin. And Litecoin just made a couple of little changes. It increased the supply of Bitcoins, the supply of the currency. It increased the speed of block confirmation, but he clearly explains that the speed of block confirmation is irrelevant because it's all about the security of those transactions. And the security of Bitcoin is way better than the security of Litecoin. And he pointed out that they changed the the mining algorithm, but that doesn't really make all that much of a difference. And Luke was right. He was right then. He's still right now. Now, if Litecoin was to have SegWit and Bitcoin not having SegWit, then we can talk about Litecoin having some kind of innovation that Bitcoin doesn't. But Bitcoin now has SegWit. What we need is actual SegWit adoption by the industry, but the industry isn't interested in a decentralized, censorship-resistant, unconfiscatable value transfer. The industry, like Coinbase and Zappo, they're more interested in a PayPal centralized US dollar system that they can control, which is why they're probably not interested in adopting SegWit to lower the transaction fees, to bring in Lightning, to actually make Bitcoin useful as a micropayment. Bitcoin being useful as a micropayment is absolutely not necessary at all. Okay, it's just not necessary. Bitcoin is necessary for unstoppable censorship-resistant payments. It would be nice if these payments were a little bit more anonymous, and we'll get there. People keep saying how Monero is so great, but no one uses Monero. No one uses it, guys. If the ecosystem was to use any of these altcoins, whether it's Monero, whether it's Litecoin, whether it's, I mean, those are the only two that are borderline legit. And by legit, I mean they're test nets that you should not have any significant value in. If any of these alternatives were even remotely as popular as Bitcoin, they would have 20 times more controversy as far as adaptation of newer technology than Bitcoin would. It's so easy for scams like Dash to put in changes because no one uses it. So you have one guy that is sitting on 50% of all the Dash with his masternodes deciding what changes are going to be made. It's just how it is. Okay? So read this again and understand that just like Adam Smith said back in the 1700s, your nation and the GDP of your nation is directly proportional to the capacity and the brain power and the innovation of its people. This is how countries like Japan were able to be the second biggest economy in the world in the late 1980s, and Japan is still like the third, probably has the third highest GDP in the world behind US and China. And Japan has very little natural resources. And then you take a country like Russia with infinite amount of natural resources, and they can't do shit. Take a country like Venezuela with awesome natural resources, and they're in the dumpster, right? It's not. It's always about the IQ of the people in your country, okay, and what they can achieve. And Bitcoin remains head and shoulders above the rest. All right, let me get this back to normal here. Right. So what happens when you send off a tweet like this? You get 100 people with Litecoin in their or Btrash in their Twitter handles commenting Litecoin logos, and the comments are so misinformed that I'm almost forced to reply to them. So I'm starting to reply to them in a derogatory way in order to see. Hold on. In order to see people say something, I'm not watching your channel anymore, and I say, fine, don't watch my channel. I'm okay with that. All right, so that's pretty much my rant over Twitter. That's about it. Oh yeah, the cruise. I'll be speaking on the cruise. This is why I'm in Singapore. Yeah, so the cruise takes off the 15th, and I'm doing my seminar the day before. Okay, so I will be speaking on the blockchain cruise. Oh man, there'll be a fair number of people there. I don't really agree with on almost anything. You know, from John McAfee to many others I don't even want to name. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can finally show up and speak and then attempt to disappear, but I'm on a cruise, so it'll be a little hard to hide. Anyway, all right. Let me get back to screen share here. I have 30 minutes for Q&A. But before I begin Q&A, I want to, I'm not doing screen share. Hey, Samson, thank you for the shirt, man. Shout out. Where did I see you? I already forgot. Toronto. I saw you in Toronto. Thanks for the shirt, man. I've been waiting for one of these. Man, I wish I was wearing this when I did that troll tweet pointing to AXA, that I was on a secret mission. Too bad. All right, one last thing before I go to Q&A. Pictures. Where am I here? God, I really want to do traditional market analysis videos, but they require so much prep that, oh, here it is. Let's do this. Let's go back to screen share for one more minute. Hey guys, I know I have a donation address and I have a Litecoin donation address, and that's not very. I wouldn't say that's hypocritical. Bitcoin is very popular, and Bitcoin does get filled up. And if someone wants to donate me $5 and it's borderline spam, and if you want to use Litecoin for that, that's fine. But I'm just warning people that Litecoin cannot be a store of value. I mean, you can use it right now for day-to-day transactions, but it's totally unnecessary. You can probably use a credit card for everything you're using Litecoin for. And but when it comes to serious saving and store of value and serious transactions, you got to go to Bitcoin. You pay the fee. I mean, if SegWit penetration was 95% and not 5%, we wouldn't have these fees right now. So go yell at Coinbase. Go talk to Zappo. Go talk to blockchain.info that seem to care more about scam coins than about Bitcoin. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Hey, so if you don't want to donate, and you don't have to donate, I mean, the donation codes are there. It's up to you guys. You can support via affiliate codes. So I am very careful as to which affiliate codes I have on the bottom of my videos. I do need to add one more into this graphic, which is BitMax. I totally forgot I have a BitMax affiliate code. I've had it for like 5 years. Maybe not 5 years, but since 2014, since they launched, it feels like 5 years. And I used to trade there before I was doing all this content. And I still have an affiliate code for BitMax. I forgot about it. That's why it's not on this graphic. I'll add it in here. But yeah, so if you're purchasing any of these items, subscription to TradingView, a crypto wallet, a crypto HW wallet, a hardware wallet, Ledger, Trezor, you want to buy a Cryptomatic, I have one. One broker is an anonymous exchange, so be careful. I used it in the past. I liked it. The movie Magic Money, the only documentary I've been in so far. And BitMax, which I don't have a picture for, but I'll add it for next time. All right, that's pretty much it. And now we can go to your Q&A. All right, let me see if I can find any questions. So if you want me to spot your question, since I don't have anyone helping me at the moment putting the questions together, please either do it with a tip so it catches my attention, do it with a word question in capital letters, or ping me at ToneBase so that my name is in orange on my end, and then I'll be able to see it. All right. Okay, here we go. Question. I got one. Oh, I got a couple. All right, cool. Let me see if I can pause the video. Oh, I got a few questions. Shoot. So the chat scrolls fast. So, I mean, I hope I can not skip any. Question. Do you think it's wise? Do you think it is reasonable that we will retest 10,000 level no matter where the high is? It's reasonable to think that. I mean, I still think it's reasonable to retest 1,300. Guys, we went from Bitcoin went up from $10 all the way to $1,200, and then it fell all the way to $150, right? So we went from $10 to 1,000, so that is 100x, and then we fell 90%. So if we start the current rally from $1,000 instead of $10, like in 2013, we can go to $100,000 from 1,000, right? That's 100x. So we can go to $100,000, and then we can retest 15,000 from 100,000. Okay, that would be the equivalent of what happened between 2013 and 2015. Okay, so keep that in mind. We already had a 90% correction 2 years ago. It can happen again. So a 90% correction from here would take us from 20,000 down to 2 grand. Okay, it would still be reasonable. And guess what? Bitcoin would still be fine. Okay, we'll go back up because it's the technology, it's the underlying protocol. As long as Bitcoin does, as long as the protocol itself remains unhackable, as long as the protocol itself works, even if it takes you a week and a half to get your transaction confirmed, as long as it's working, Bitcoin will be fine. And the more people adopt SegWit and as Lightning Network comes, it'll get better. Bitcoin will go to microtransactions when it needs to. It doesn't really need to yet. Right, next. How will the future shorts handle forks? I don't know. Good question, right? It's going to handle them very, very well. I'll tell you why. Because Andreas Antonopoulos is an advisor at the CME. And there's maybe about 5. I mean, if you're not a Bitcoin core developer, there was maybe 10 people in the world I would be comfortable with advising the CME. Andreas happens to be one of these people. So we're good. We're good on that front, okay? It's going to handle them very well because there ain't going to be no forks. It's going to be ignored. It's going to be irrelevant. And the futures, they're cash settled. So there's no Bitcoin being held, so it's not their problem. But they will know which is the real Bitcoin to settle those futures against. They're not settling. The underlying index of the CME future does not have any B-trash in it, right? It's not a price of Bitcoin and B-trash. It's the price of Bitcoin. There's one Bitcoin, guys. I wouldn't be making videos right now if there was 2 Bitcoin. There's just one. All right, next question. When using trend lines in the charts, on which time frames do you prefer to use the linear or algorithmic charts? I pretty much use logarithmic charts everywhere. Logarithmic charts seem to be the default, even in traditional markets. So if you go to one of my favorite all-time websites, and only because this was one of the few websites that existed when I was learning how to trade, it was stockcharts.com. Stockcharts.com was one of the first websites that existed. I reference it heavily in my Learn Trading section because at the time I was learning how to trade, it was pretty much the only source for technical analysis trading education. And their default is logarithmic charts on traditional markets as well. So logarithmic charts is the standard. I kind of use it and I draw my trend lines there. What time frame? Well, they're all relevant, right? I mean, the time frame for trend lines isn't as important as what time frame you're trading. I mean, you draw your trend lines on the time frame that you trade. I will say that if they're daily candles, I prefer to use end of day. If they're weekly candles, then I'm okay using intra-week highs and lows. And if they're anything 1 day or smaller, or time frame, I prefer to use end of candle, not intra candle highs and lows. If you're a trader, that made sense. Okay. Next question. Okay, so someone's asking me, where can I read more about the numbering on the candles? I guess I'll do one more screen share real quick. Just for you, Danny. So listen carefully. One more screen share. Application, right there. So if you go to my Learn Trading section, you better be an expert at parts 1 to 5. Because if you're not an expert at parts 1 to 5, reading about the numbers on the candles will only make you lose money. You learn about it in section 6. And all of the links starting with this one though I do recommend Martin Armstrong's blog. But all of the links starting with this one here and all the ones below it will teach you about it, though my version is slightly different, and I believe it is slightly improved. Next. Stop screen share. Next question. What SegWit addresses we should use? P2SH or batch 32? Green address cannot send to batch 32 addresses. Well, as far as I know, only Trezor is about to add batch 32. So batch 32 is better than P2SH, but green address is my current on-the-go wallet, and I'm using it. It's a start, and hopefully, Larry Bitcoin, if you're listening, get on that. I mean, you're one developer, so it's difficult. But yeah, I mean, look, it'll get better, right? I mean, start talking to blockchain.info. Get them to incorporate batch 32 addresses. Yeah, it's much better. I mean, use it if you have it. I mean, stick with any SegWit address if you can. And then if you are a wallet provider is upgrading to the latest version of SegWit addresses, then use those. Thank you for the $5 Litecoin donation. Oh, I already lost the place where that was. Oh, God. I'm getting a lot of comments, guys. Oh, man. OK. Whoa, way behind the chat. All right, let's go. I'll try to get through the questions faster. When Bitcoin fees are high, bubble pops, and shills pushing merchant exchange adoption of Btrash. Could the public declare that Btrash won until? No, guys, come on. No. The public can declare whatever they like, right? I mean, the public can declare they're living on the moon. It doesn't make it true. Wisdom of the crowds is kind of mostly ridiculous. But all right, let's move on from there. There's one Bitcoin. Give it a break. How is it in Cali, Colombia? Oh, Cali's great. Oh, weather is awesome. Bitcoin volume has been going down continuously over the last 10 days. Isn't that considered a sign of a weakening trend, or do you not trade volume at all? I don't trade volume at all. I never have. There's very few instances where volume is useful. In Bitcoin, yeah, you will see people walking around the background. I'm in a house with a few people. Rented a house, I have friends. So there you go. Trolls come out. I'll have my friends come up and say hi. You guys gonna come up? Futures contracts can't sell until contract ends. It's bullshit. That's not even a question. All right, let's get back to your questions, guys. Hey, you want to say hi for people?
Hi.
I don't have the live chat going. Here's the mic.
Okay. Hola, hablándoles desde Cali, Colombia.
Do you have Bitcoin,
Daniela? Yes, I do.
How long have you had Bitcoin?
For like 5 months.
See? Even Colombia knows what's up.
Ciao.
Get Victor up here. All right, let's see where we at here. I already answered that. All right, let's move on. Oh, I got a tip question. All right, that one takes priority. Thanks, Virus. Let's see. seeing that BTC maximalism is rapidly going out of fashion and most ex-Bitcoin maximalists are now multi-crypto realists, you are mostly motivated by faith or by self-preservation? Asking for a friend, of course. No, it has nothing to do with self-preservation. I mean, look, I am very happy with the value of my Bitcoin in cold storage. Very happy with it. So I don't really care how much money I missed out on by not taking my actual value and putting it on Red 32, right? Someone had a good analogy the other day, more like weeks ago, right? So people are saying that I have given bad advice. Here's the advice I gave. I'm walking through a casino, and some guy has, you know, a suitcase full of cash. And he says, hey, Tone, I want to put half of the suitcase full of cash on Red 32. And I say, you're an idiot. Why don't you just walk away with all your cash out of the casino? And he says, okay, I'm going to listen to your advice. And as he's about to walk away from me, the roulette table hits a Red 32. And he gets mad at me because I prevented him from making 35x half of his money. That's what's happening here, right? None of these altcoins are worth a damn. So just because they're going up and you could be making money, you better get out at the top. Because if you keep doubling down and doubling down, you will lose it all, okay? It's not about self-preservation. It's about the reality of the situation. To me, Bitcoin is the one and only blockchain, which is the internet/TCP/IP layer. And all of these altcoins and all of these, you know, crypto projects like ICOs, they're the .com websites with one front-end developer and nothing in the back. Nothing, okay? So when the bubble comes, the price of Bitcoin may or may not fall. It may fall a little. It may fall a lot. But the Bitcoin blockchain protocol will still be with us. And that is not true for any other blockchain. And I use the word blockchain in cases other than Bitcoin very, very loosely. Okay? Very loosely. So to me, Ethereum is more like, I don't know, AOL or something, right? Or Pets. Oh no, I actually like Pets.com. Or I don't know, pick another crazy company from back in 2000s, right? But anyway, so that's how I see the space. It's not about self-preservation. It's about the reality of the situation. Like, I'm perfectly happy with my gains of my Bitcoin and cold storage. I feel like an idiot for chasing the 10% B trash by taking my coins out of cold storage and potentially doxing myself for the governments to know how much I have, which isn't even that much, so I shouldn't have that much to worry about. All right, let's get back to your questions. In your tweet, you say that Litecoin and XMR are useless, yet you admit Litecoin use as testnet, and XMR is useful as anon transactions. Don't you think useless is a bit ingenuous? Maybe. Oh, my camera out of focus. Maybe. They're testnets, right? I mean, they're no different than the Bitcoin testnet. Like, there's Bitcoin testnets, right? Which could be reset occasionally by the core developers. So no one trusts Bitcoin testnet as a store of value because the probability of the actual Bitcoin testnet coins to be reset and redistributed, probability of Litecoin and Monero being reset back to 0. But the probability of Litecoin and Monero testnet coins to be reset to 0 is still significantly higher than Bitcoin's probability. I mean, it's hard for me to like explain these things, but I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. But Basically, you're just taking a chance that Litecoin and Monero are not going to be set to zero, like technologically, right? Just like Bitcoin testnets get set to zero technologically whenever the core devs feel like it, okay? The chances of Bitcoin, that happening to Bitcoin is significantly lower than the chance of it happening to Monero and Litecoin. So if you want to use them for some irrelevant transactions, that's fine. Go and use them, right? Look, no, I don't want to offend. Actually, maybe I do want to offend people. It doesn't seem to be a problem for me. But basically, oh man, what's my train of thought again? Really enjoying the weather out here. The chances of your blockchain being reset to zero is significantly higher in every blockchain than Bitcoin, right? Though it's not as high as the chances of the Bitcoin testnet coins being reset to zero, which happens quite often, for the main reason of like people shouldn't be using Bitcoin testnet coins as a store of value. Okay, see, maybe if Monero and Litecoin really wanted to be true innovative projects, maybe they should reset their block tokens to zero, right? Every now and then, to make it clear to people not to use it as a store of value. Just a thought. Think about it. All right, I got another question with the tip. Thank you, Rich. Will CME futures pump Bitcoin like CBOE did? Also, BitMax is under DDoS attacks. Yeah, I heard about the BitMax DDoS attacks. Hopefully, their technology guys are competent and they will resolve that. Happens. I mean, again, a lot of Bitcoin haters out there. It's debatable whether CBOE pumped the price of Bitcoin. I talked about this with Richard Hart because the CBOE front ran the CME futures. So the pump was probably going to happen regardless of CBOE coming in or not. All right, next. I'm still like way behind in the chat, so I hope I don't like lose it all. All right, let's go. Didn't Satoshi describe peer-to-peer electronic cash in the white paper? Sure, but the reality of the situation is that the most important thing you need to have a peer-to-peer electronic cash is censorship-resistant transactions. If they're not censorship-resistant, then it's not peer-to-peer cash, right? It's only peer-to-peer cash if it's stable and with competent developers and censorship-resistant. If your shitcoin is not censorship-resistant and is centralized, then the fact that it's peer-to-peer is only temporary and not permanent. I believe that Satoshi wanted his peer-to-peer electronic cash system to be permanently stable. And the only chance that has of happening is with Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin. All right, next. Let's see. I'm looking for questions, guys. How much is Blockstream paying you? Right here. I have Blockstream has, let me estimate here, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 T-shirts and one hat with a second hat on the way, I think. Yeah. So my compensation from Blockstream has been 5 T-shirts and 1.5 hats. All right, next. All right, so those are different things, right? So here's the question. Are there other coins other than Bitcoin that you like or are not scams? Coins that are not scams, like Litecoin, Monero, maybe Pivx. I'm not sure yet. No, wait, not Pivx. Decred, sorry. Pivx is a scam. Sorry, I got them backwards. So Litecoin, Monero, maybe Decred, maybe. They're not scams. It doesn't mean that I like them. They're just not scams, right? Oh, you know what? I'll go through a top 10. Let me go to CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap. All right, here we go. So let's just look at it, right? Bitcoin, I like it. Not a scam. I like it. I'm invested in it. Ethereum, in my opinion, all right, come on. In my opinion, Ethereum's a scam coin. Bcash, scam coin. Ripple, scam coin. Litecoin, not a scam coin. What the hell is Cardano doing up here at number 6? Cardano's a scam coin. IOTA's a scam coin. Dash is a scam coin. NEM is a scam coin. Monero is not a scam coin. It doesn't mean that I like it. Bitcoin Gold is, man, it's somewhere in between. It's somewhere in between a scam coin and not a scam coin. It doesn't mean that I like it, but please pump Bitcoin Gold because I'm only going to exit if I get 5%. Stellar is a scam coin of a scam coin. EOS is, yeah, that's just like, yeah, that to me that's a scam coin. Neo is a scam coin copy of a scam coin, which was Ethereum. Ethereum Classic by default is, again, a scam coin of a scam coin, though not as scammy as Ethereum because they, kept the original vision of Ethereum. I never heard of this. Scam coin, that's just a Ponzi scheme. No idea what this is. That's a Chinese scam coin. Again, a scam coin copy of a scam. Again, I think Lisk is an Ethereum. No, that's Waves. Sorry. And Zcash is a scam. Tether been discussed. I mean, it can go on and on and on, right? Oh, Dogecoin, not a scam coin. There you go. Not a scam coin. Probably not a scam coin. I already forgot the details of this thing. 100% scam coin. 100% scam coin. I'm looking for something. Anyway, my favorite coins of all time. Aurora coin, right here, my favorite coin. I may still have one or two. At one time, Aurora coin was number 2 on the. At one point, Aurora coin was number 2, above Ethereum, above Ripple, and above Litecoin. My favorite all-time scam coin. Oh, and one more. My second favorite all-time is Paycoin. That's my second favorite right here. All right. All right, I think I explained that one. Let's go back to screen share. Next. Is it always a good investment strategy to take profits? Why do you insist on being a holder? Well, there are different things, right? You're either a holder or you're a trader. If you're a trader, then it's always a good idea to take your profits. If you're not a trader, Bitcoin, so I'm a holder. I mean, it's you're mixing two concepts, right? It's the same problem that what's that guy on CNBC has, Ronnie Mose. He seems to not able to comprehend the difference between holding and trading. Right there, they're different things. You can be a holder, or you can be a trader. Right? You can compare one's performance to the other. Right? But they're different things. It's like a guy loaning money out, or a guy sitting on his money and a guy gambling. They're two different things, right? I mean, the guy that's sitting on his money, or let's say a guy that has his money in the S&P 500 versus a guy that's gambling his money in a casino, right? You got to think of it that way. People seem to compare, like, oh, you're comparing a guy trading versus the stock market versus a guy holding the stock market. They're different things. Performance, but comparing a guy's holding of the S&P 500 versus a guy gambling an MGM Grand, you can also compare more money, right? So don't confuse the two. A lot of people on TV even confuse the two. Okay, yeah, you have a benchmark that you're trading against. That benchmark is usually the S&P 500. If you're a trader in the crypto space, whether you're trading Bitcoin or shitcoins, you should be comparing your performance versus holding the Bitcoin. Did you outperform Bitcoin by trading? Whether that was trading Bitcoin against fiat or trading Ethereum for Litecoin for Dogecoin. Did you outperform Bitcoin? Some will, some won't, right? So if you're a trader, yeah, it's a good idea to take profits. If you're a holder, why bother? Different strategy. Let's see. I think Vortex is about to start a show, so I'm about to let you guys go. I have 2,000 viewers. Please head over to the World Crypto Network. Sorry, guys, I didn't get to all your questions. I didn't get to the comments. So if people having Daniela come up here just to get me in trouble because she's not the only one in the house. So I'm going to get out of trouble. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I'll try and give you another video maybe later today if I do some work on traditional markets. If not, please catch me in the morning with Jimmy Song on the Bitcoin Morning News Brief. So Vortex at the World Crypto Network.